I thought there was, certainly, a lot of work for, our wide receivers and gaining some continuity there. But I thought we made some progress. First day is trying to blend, the summer conditioning with, how you want to push your practice. And that balance is tricky. You don't want to, burn them all out today. So I thought we pushed them pretty hard today. But it's, you're acclimatizing to a lot of things today. First day of football, first day in pads. So I'd say overall, it's probably what I expected. Some of the young guys look like they'll make an easy transition into playing. And then there's some guys that, that are veterans that we're going to have to keep developing.
In terms of wide receivers, did you see anything that stood out to you that you liked?
I think the pieces are there. It's just going to be, it's going to take some time. But there's enough talent there for us to be successful offensively with the group that we have. It's just, we got to be careful and not to overwork them. Make sure that we stay injury free. And if we do that, I think that in time, I think it'll work itself out.
And then similarly with the defensive backs, you said yesterday a lot of young guys in secondary can earn some time this week.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of talent there. Even when we went with our third group, you look out there and you just see a different looking group out there. As guys that look the part and certainly can move. So very optimistic that we'll be able to find a group that is going to be able to compete at a high level.
Talking with St. Brown today, while practice was going, how would you say you feel like he did today?
Well, I think today was a day where, we tried to build some consistency in his route running. As I told him, I said, look, the quarterback will adjust to you if you're consistent. But if your routes are ever changing and we don't know where you're going to be, that's going to be a problem. So today was really about building a base of consistency for him. And I think we can, safely say that he's got the talent necessary to perform at the level. Now he's got to build on that consistency, day in and day out. So a good first day of, developing, some, I think what I would consider some musts that he has to do. And we'll build off it after today.
And how about with the quarterbacks, just the balance of reps with them and your assessment of them today?
It's pretty much what I had thought. They are a little bit different in what we want to do with them, and that continues. We saw Malik, on a breakdown, throw a great ball over the middle off of a broken play, and Kaiser dumped the ball down off of his third check. So, they continue to be who we thought they would be. So I think we just continue to plow forward and continue to keep them sharp and continue to develop, who they are.
It might be a tough question to answer, but just if you know they're doing what you expect them to be doing, how are you able to make that decision on how to choose one of them?
I think that what we'll probably do is let them keep competing until, we have to make a decision. And we don't have to make a decision until they tell us that only one quarterback can play. And that's right up to Texas.
Brian, how is Max better? How is he different than in the spring? And what do you need to see from him this month?
How is Max better than the spring?
Yeah.
I think just one day it's hard to tell, really, Eric. I mean, I think what we want to see from Max is probably just, that guy that does, the basic things right. He was a guy that was up and down. We saw great flashes, and then we didn't see him for a couple of weeks. I think if we just get consistent play from him, we're going to get really good play. So I think if we went through 5 days here and we saw a consistent performer, I'd be pretty happy with that. So it would be hard for me to say after one day, even if he had a really good day, you'd have to ask me on day 3.
Okay.
And if you come back to me on day 3 and he put 3 really good days together, I would say Max is a different player than he was in the spring.
Brian, this is coming back here every year to Culver. What makes you guys want to come back here each year?
Well, the accommodations are really good. In terms of facilities for meetings, for our guys to relax a little bit, get away from campus. They're there, they get there in June on campus, and it's obviously the facilities are great at Notre Dame, but it breaks it up a little bit, gets them really focused on just football. They don't have to think about Notre Dame and all that goes with the rigors of Notre Dame at times. It's really just a break mentally almost for them to get here. So they're away, they're off campus. I think that it's much more relaxing and gets them focused just on football.
Your thoughts on the running backs, obviously, or
I was impressed with Tony Jones today. Dexter was had stomach problems today. We had to IV him. He was sick. I guess he wasn't forthright with us with his illness and got sick, and so we had to take him off the field. And Tony did a really good job. I was impressed. Matter of fact, Coach Denbrock called him Dexter twice. And I think that's a compliment, obviously, for a true freshman to impress in that level. But I was impressed with him. He caught the ball out of the backfield well. He was confident in what he was doing back there. If there was one freshman that jumped in there offensively and looked confident in what he was doing, it was certainly Tony.
How about Tarian? And he didn't have the knee brace on.
Yeah, Tarian is. He wanted to put on a little bit more weight. He felt like he was too light last year. But he's that elusive, smooth inside-out runner, and he's certainly going to be an effective player for us.
Josh Adams, okay?
Yeah, he had a cramp. He cramped up, a little bit dehydrated, so we'll get some fluids in him.
Brian, going off the Culver question, is there something to be said as a staff now going 4 straight years off-site for the routine of things? I mean, there's probably a lot less logistics.
Yeah, when we came here to yesterday, it just felt like we need to do something. It's just it seemed almost too seamless. Everything was organized. Our staff meetings were done by 9 o'clock. We actually had some free time. So I think when you get into that kind of routine off-site, Culver's obviously. Great to work with. They've got a great support staff that makes it really easy for us to get in here and get things accomplished from a football standpoint. So it just works really, really good for us.
What do you guys do with all that free time?
I knee boarded on the lake for about 2 hours.
Alone or?
Yeah, I drove the boat and knee boarded. You should know that by now.
Brian, you talked about Jerron Jones's work volume yesterday, and it seemed like a low number to me. Is it because he's still coming back from the injury, or it's just this is kind of how your team's constructed on the defense?
Yeah, I think, but 25 to 35 plays is a pretty good number for a big guy like that.
Okay.
If he can give us explosive plays at that number, along with Daniel Cage, and they're going to be key plays for us. I think that's a good place to start, and anything more than that, we'll be really happy because I think they're going to be impactful plays when he's in there.
In terms of your offensive line position battles, is it hard to decipher how guys are doing before they put the full pads on at that position, or are days like today still insightful to you?
Days like today are insightful. Every day that you're out here, the offensive line is one that requires 5 guys working together. So, you want to see that in unison, kind of work. And if there's somebody struggling with working together with the 5, that would stand out today. So, unmistakably, today is a day of evaluation too on the offensive line. There are some other position groups that maybe not as much. That the pads mean more. But today on the offensive line, that means a lot.
In terms of practice and general meaning stuff, you guys have your guys for so long now in the summer, and I know you haven't had them for a few days last week, but does today to you kind of signify like the start?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. We'll check our GPS numbers. There may be some things that we have to tweak a little bit. We don't want to get the numbers to run away from us too high. I thought today, we went 23 periods, just under 2 hours. It was a lot of running. It's hard to duplicate your summer workout and transition smoothly into your first day. The emotions are high. Everybody's moving quickly. Our GPS numbers were probably a little bit high today. We'll probably have to tweak some things tomorrow and back off a little bit. We kind of want to work this thing up the hill instead of the other way around. But today definitely marked the first day of camp.
We good?
Thanks.
Good?
Thanks,
All right.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Coach.
Coach.